Good afternoon, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's tourism lesson. I'm Mr. Samgelo Innocent Luyanda Nkonyeni, a grade 12 tourism educator in the head department at one of the schools by Ekurhuleni South. This lesson is brought to you by Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibono Discovery Center and a broadcast by Pagama Research and Development. Right, we are still busy with term 2's work, whereby we are looking at foreign exchange. Last week we dealt with part 1, and today we are going to be dealing with part 2, and my main focus will be on foreign exchange calculations. My sources are from Via Africa Grade 12 Learners book. Via Africa Grade 12 Tourism Learners book, Focus Grand Oxford Successful Tourism Grade 12 textbook. And some of my activities, if not all of them, they're from some of our past exam papers from the Department of Basic Education, right? So we are also going to be using that to assist us in doing some of the activities. We are available on our WhatsApp line 079 454 9535 079 454 9535. This is where you can be able to send us a WhatsApp so that if you have got questions, we can be able to deal with them. I hope you have pen and paper with you there and a calculator, as you're going to be focusing mainly on foreign exchange calculations. Right, you're going to come across foreign exchange calculations in your question 3. So it is going to be question 3. Just after doing time zones, you're going to come across your question 3, whereby you're going to be dealing with the concept that we dealt with last week and also the calculations that you're going to be dealing with today. Please join me. The lesson focus objectives for today. Today we are going to be learning about the 2 new concepts, which is bank selling rate or BSR and also bank buying rate, also known as BBR, right? So you're going to learn what is the difference between a bank selling rate and also what is the difference between what the bank buying rate. These 2 concepts comes from what we were dealing with last week when we spoke about exchange rates. And we said an exchange rate, it is the value of one currency in relation to another currency, or the rate that a bank will use either to buy, if not to sell a foreign currency. But in grade 12, we don't have exchange rates, but we call them what? Bank selling rate and also what? Bank buying rate. Right, once we have dealt with that difference between the 2, we will now try again to interpret a currency rate sheet, right? To interpret, the main thing there I will be teaching today is how to analyze and interpret a currency exchange rate sheet, because where will you be coming across this? Before you do your calculations, you will come across a currency rate sheet table whereby you need to know how to analyze and break it down before you do your calculations. The third thing that we are going to be looking at now, we will be looking at how to actually do currency conversions. Remember, we said when you travel from South Africa to another country, you will need their currency. You will have your rands and then you'll be needing their foreign currency, right? And when you come back again from outside, you might have money that is still left with you, which is their foreign currency, and you will need what? Our local currency. Then this is where now the currency conversions will be coming at, whereby you're going to be converting local currency, our rands, to foreign currency, and also converting foreign currencies to South African rand. Then after that, then we will look to practice, whereby now we are looking at the few activities after we have what is a bank selling rate. Number 2, you will also learn about what is bank buying rate. From there, you will learn in terms of how to interpret a currency rate sheet or table. And then you will learn the skills in tourism context, right? Remember, we've got maths lit, we've got pure maths, but also today we'll be focusing on how to do currency conversions in our subject, the one of tourism. Then from there, we'll move to dealing with few activities. I hope you will enjoy today's lesson. Let's move again. Let's just get a background because I'm going back a bit to few of the concepts that we dealt with last week, but not all of them. Reason being, when you look into activities, these words will be coming across you time and again. And when you look at your assessments, these words will come to you, back to you time and again. We said, what is a currency? A currency, it is the medium of exchange for goods and services, right? It is the medium of exchange. It is medium of what? Of trading. Trading of what? Goods and services. It is the money, and we said that money, it can be in the form of paper, if not coins. And who issues this money? It is usually what? The government of that particular country. And why do you need currency? Because we use it when we have to do what? Payments. It is money in the form of paper, coins, and that you're going to be receiving. So you need what? That particular currency. For us here in South Africa, remember what we use? We use the ZAR, which is what? South African currency. When you go to Botswana, you will get that they use what? Pula. That is their currency. When you go to Lesotho, African rand. When you go to New York, for example, you will know that in New York they're using what? Right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are still dealing with foreign exchange calculations. We're just explaining just now before we went off what we mean by the difference between foreign currency and local currency. We said foreign currency, it is money from another country used to purchase goods and services by residents and visitors in that specific country. Then foreign, remember, local currency, it is money that is in circulation in a specific country and used by people living and visiting that country. Then I said to you that ZAR will be foreign currency to tourists. Greater British pounds, it is also a foreign currency to us. But for the people who are living, for example, in Britain, then GBP, it is their local currency. For the people who are living in Botswana, for example, Pula, it is their local currency. But our rands, they are foreign to them. Greater British pounds, they are foreign to the people living in Botswana and so on. So all these concepts are very important because on our activities, we will come across them time and again. Then we move to one of the most important concepts that we have, which is exchange rate, right? When we are talking about the rate here, you need to remember here we are talking about what? The amount. The amount or the value. So the exchange rate, it is the amount or the value. So when we are talking about the exchange rate in this context, we are saying it is the rate or amount, right? It is the rate or amount used by banks and foreign exchange providers to convert local currency into foreign currency or to convert foreign currency into local currency. So what are the banks using to charge you? They are using what? The exchange rate. But in grade 12, these exchange rates, they are divided into two. Hence, we're going to be talking about the bank selling rate and bank buying rate. So in grade 11, we call them what? Exchange rate. But now when we get to grade 12, then our exchange rates, they are divided into two. We have what? Bank selling rate and bank buying rate. That's what we are going to be discussing now, just now, which is the rate to either convert local currency into foreign currency or to convert what? Foreign currency into local currency. Obviously, when you are busy with that, we need our different calculators, right? So that we can be able to do those calculations. The reasons we need them, it is so that we cannot be overcharged when we do the calculations. Foreign exchange, it is the conversion. So when we convert those currencies, what do we call that? It is the conversion of one currency into the value of another currency. Foreign exchange, it is the conversion of one currency into the value of another currency. It is a practice of converting one currency into another currency. Remember there by the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, we said to you currencies fluctuate second by second, and immediately when the market closes, this information will be given to the banks every day, right? So the bank, the information will come and be fed to the bank, so that thereby the stock exchange, the information will be fed directly to the banks or the foreign exchange facilities that you may have, so that when people go there, if they want to buy foreign currency or buy local currency, they can be charged using what? The correct exchange rates. Then we have this very important exchange rates that I spoke about. The first one, it is bank buying rate or BBR. So sometimes on a multiple choice question, maybe then question 1, they might give you this and ask you to write it in full or to choose the correct option. So you need to remember that bank BBR stands for what? Bank buying rate. But what is this BBR? What does it mean, right? It is the rate or the amount at which a bank will buy foreign currency. Let me just show you this table. Right, so when you get to the bank, you will normally see a table more or less like this or on your papers. And when you go to the bank, that table changes time and again. So you will have BSR this side and you'll also have BBR this side. Then you will have this amount 14,73. Then this side it is 14,12. Then another currency which is a Greater British Pound, there's 1928, and this side it is what? 1829. So these are our two what? Exchange rates. But you need to know as a student, when will the bank charge you using bank selling rate, and also when will the bank charge you using what? Bank buying rate. So on your papers, again, you come across more on table. So this is where you're going to be checking your two exchange rates, bank selling rate and also bank buying rate. Let me go to the explanations. Right. We're busy with bank buying rate. You saw there on that table how you will come across this on your papers. The trick here, it is for you to know the concept. Once you understand the concept, you also need to know when will the bank charge you using BBR, and also when will the bank charge you using BSR. Let's just get the explanation. What is bank buying rate, right? You need to remember in this context that you are the one that is going to the bank. And when you go to the bank, what is it that you need? In this context, the bank, it is the service provider, right? You go to the bank because you need service from them. So what are they do? It is not about what you are doing for the bank, but it is about what the bank is doing for you, right? So bank buying rate, it is the rate or the amount at which a bank will buy foreign currency in exchange for local currency. You come from outside, right? And you have your dollars. You come from outside, you have your pounds. You come from outside and then you are visiting South Africa, you've got your pula. And you want what? You want what? You want our local currency, which is South African rand. So what will the bank, which rate will the bank use to charge you? The bank will use what? Bank buying rate, right? Because you'll be coming from outside, or a foreign tourist will be coming from outside with their foreign currency, and they come here to South Africa because they need what? Our local currency. So when they get to our border post or by our international airports, by the exchange rate, whereby now they need to go and buy currency, the bank will charge them using what? Bank buying rate. Another explanation, it is the rate used by a bank when converting from foreign currency to local currency. It is the rate. Remember I said the rate, it is what? The amount. It is the rate used by who again? A bank when doing what? Converting foreign currency to local currency. So a tourist from outside comes to South Africa and then they want what? Our local currency. Then they will be charged using what? Bank buying rate. A tourist in this context has a foreign currency and wants what? The local currency. The bank will charge him or her using what? BBR. In this context, we are saying the bank buys what? Foreign currency. So we need to be careful there. Then the second concept, it is what? Bank selling rate. BBR and BSR. It is the rate or the amount at which a bank now will sell foreign currency. Let me go back. Bank buying rate, the bank buys what? Foreign currency, because you need what? Local currency. Bank selling rate, the bank now is doing what? It is selling what? Foreign currency. You are a South African and then you want to visit New York. You have your local currency, and then what is it that you need? You need what? The United States dollar. So you go to the bank, right? When you get to the bank, you have your rands, and then you want to do what? To buy what? The foreign currency. You want to buy the US dollar. So what will the bank be doing for you? The bank will be selling. And I said to you, you need to be very careful here, because it is not about what you are doing to the bank, but it is about what the bank is doing for you. Because this is where you can get very easy, simple 7, if not 9 or 11 marks when it comes to foreign exchange calculations. Because in some instances, it will be 4 marks. In some instances, maybe 6, and so on. Second explanation, we are saying bank selling rate, it is the rate used by a bank. Again, you see, bank comes back when converting from local currency to foreign currency. It is the rate used by a bank when converting from local currency to foreign currency. Then they will charge you there using which rate? BSR. What are we saying here? We are saying the tourist has local currency and needs what? Foreign currency. The tourist has what? Local currency. In our context, you've got the rands, but you want pula. You've got the rands, but you want dollars. You've got the rands, but you want British pounds. You've got the rands, but you want Australian dollars. So the bank will sell that foreign currency using what? BSR. We are saying the bank sells foreign currency in exchange for the local currency. Right. Let me give you 2 minutes so that you can be able to jot down these explanations down. We first start with bank buying rate. From bank buying rate, then we will move to bank selling rate, whereby now you need to write down these explanations. You are adding from what you are also given there at school. I'll be back just now. Right, welcome back. I believe that I gave you enough time to write the explanations of bank selling rate and also bank buying rate. Remember, I said to you, we are available on our WhatsApp line 079 454 9535 079 454 9535. This is where you can be able to interact with us here and we will deal with your questions. Now that we understand a bit the difference between bank selling rate and bank buying rate, now we need to move. Remember, we said when you're talking about bank selling rate, the bank sells what? Foreign currency in exchange for local currency. And we said bank buying rate, a tourist has foreign currency and wants what? So this can be a bit confusing, but you need to know those two concepts. Will the bank charge me using bank buying rate, or will the bank charge me using bank selling rate? What is it that I want from the bank? Do I want a local currency, or do I want what? Foreign currency. Then we are moving to this again. This is a very important tips that you need to know when you are interpreting the currency rate table. Tips to analyze currency rate table graphs or sheets. Number one, as I said, read the examiner's instructions, right? You will be given 3 hours a day to answer the whole paper. So there's a reason why you are given what? Instructions. Don't rush into answering without reading the instructions. Read the examiner's instruction. Number two, check the heading, right? That is the title of that graph that has been given to you, or the title of that table that has been given to you, or the title of that currency rate sheet that has been given to you. Let me just check here. You see here, we have the examiner's instruction. So it is study. This is what it is, a verb. Study the foreign exchange rate table below. That's number one. After studying, what must you do? Then answer the questions. Right. I said read the instructions, check the heading. Let's check the heading. Here is your table. So what is the heading? Here's the title or the heading, foreign exchange rates, right? As you can see, it is even in caps, right? Then here's a subtitle. What do we have there? Rand per foreign currency unit, meaning which currencies are being compared there, rand and other currencies. So you are highlighting there that you know, oh, I'm comparing what rand. So for us in this context, the rand will be our local currency. Let me just go back. Then identify the currencies being compared. Let's go to our table. Now we know that they are comparing rand and other currencies. Check your blocks. The first block, you've got the different currency. The middle block, you have the currency code, the 3-letter code. We dealt with this in grade 10. We said the first 2 letters, it is the country, and then letter 3, it is the currency used, right? So US, it is what? United States. What do they use? Dollars. GBP, it is Britain. What do they use? The pounds, right? There. So the first block we said you've got what? Currencies. So they are comparing rand with which currencies? With the US dollar and also the Great British Pound, or the pound sterling. Right? So we know they are comparing rand and those 2 currencies. Okay, let me go back. Then identify the years or days being compared. Are we giving the dates? We are not giving the dates there, but in some graphs, especially the graphs, you'll have a certain day being compared with another day. Check what you have on your y-axis and also what we have on your x-axis. This will be applicable when you are given a graph like this one, right? Where you have your title. Okay, I said first, here's the instruction. Then here is the title. We know they are comparing rand and US dollars. Then this will be your y-axis, and then this side will be your x-axis. Then what do you have on your y-axis? We've got what? The exchange rates. Exchange rates. Remember I said here it is what? The amounts. Right? The value of that particular currency at that particular moment. Right? And then which currencies on this particular graph? We know that they are comparing what? South African rand and the dollar. Right. And then what do you have on your x-axis? We've got the months. There we've got September, and then we've got October. And then here inside we've got what? The days. Right. Right. I said read the instructions of the examiner, check the heading, identify the currencies being compared, identify the years or days being compared, analyze what you have on your y-axis, and also check on your x-axis, then identify your currencies and the exchange rate. Let's check on this table. So remember we spoke about BSR and BBR. So sometimes they will have next to BS bank selling rate, or they might just write BSR, and then this side they might just write BBR. Let me check. Yes, look at this table, right? The previous table, what we have them written in full, but this side we've got what? BBR, and then this side we've got what? BSR. We just need to know that BBR it is what? Bank buying rate. BSR it is what? Bank selling rate. Then now you need to check for bank selling rate, how much is it? Meaning you get $1 with what? 14 Rand 73. This is now, remember, when you want what? Foreign currency. Then the bank will charge you using what? Bank selling rate. So they are selling each dollar with how much? With 14 Rand 73. Then when you come back from US with their dollars, now you want our local currency, then they will be buying the dollars from you using what? Using what? Bank buying rate. Same thing. When we have our South African rands and then you want a foreign currency, the bank will sell the foreign currency using what? This one, BSR. And then now when you come back from overseas, maybe you're from Britain, there you then you've got some of your pounds with you. Now you want our local currency, then the bank will charge you using what? BBR. So this is the exchange rates that we spoke about. I said go inside the graph, identify your currencies and their exchange rates. We spoke about those exchange rates. There they are. This will be our exchange rates for that day. And then this side will be our exchange rate. And when you go to the bank, remember, you will get this. You need to know when will the bank charge you using BSR, and also when will the bank charge you using what? BBR. Then I said go inside your graph to identify the up and down or decline and increase. Let's check here. Look at the difference between BSR and BBR. BSR, it is 14 Rand 73, meaning this is our up. For pound, it is 1928. It is more as well. But when you go to the last column, then when you check BBR, it is 1412. And then this side, it is what? 18 Rand 29. We check the second graph again. The instructions. Study, it is a verb. Study the exchange rate table and answer the questions. Again, the same thing. Here they have given us the countries, right? United Kingdom, European countries, United States of America. Currency code, GBP, EUR, USD, right? Obviously, this is European Euro, right? And then United States dollar, Greater British Pound. Check again here. Remember we said according to that tip, now we are checking what? The BBR, this side it is 1532. and then a European euro it is 1309, and then US dollar it is what, 1957. When you check BSR, it is higher than or more than BBR. Again, the same thing here. Why? Why do we have this? So on that tip, as you saw, I said, go inside the graph to identify the up and down, or the decline and increase. So this is like this for a reason. Why would you open a business? You are opening a business so that you can be able to make what? Profit. So in terms of bank selling rate, remember I said the bank in this context, it is the service provider. So the bank selling rate, it is higher than the bank buying rate because the bank needs to make what? Profit. That is why these amounts are not the same. The bank selling rate will always be higher than bank buying rate because the bank needs to make what? Profit from the client. Remember, the client will be coming to the bank to want what? Foreign currency. Then the bank will be selling foreign currency to the tourists. Hence, those people, when they come here, they get more money for their foreign currency because of the value of their currency. It is higher than us. Right? Okay. So we are saying now we're going to move to the actual calculation. So there you will need your calculator. So I'm going to give you tips now and also scenarios before the activities. I'm going to give you tips, right? Now we know how to analyze our foreign exchange table. Some will have 3 columns and some will have 4 columns, depending on how you will see your paper one day. On this one, we've got the first block. You've got the different countries, United Kingdom, European, Euros, USA, right? Then the middle block, we've got the currency codes. They are written in, they've given those 3 letter codes. Then we've got BBR, and you also have what? BSR. The same thing that happened here. Here they've given you the currency. They did not give you the countries. They've given you the codes. They've given you bank selling rate, and they've also given you what? Bank buying rate. So that was a skill in terms of when they say study. So you need to analyze everything. And after analyzing your graphs or your tables, then you move to the actual questions. Let's just try to practice there. So, Mr. Nkonyeni, how do we do the actual calculations, especially in tourism context? I say to you, it is about what the bank is doing for you. Who is you in this context? It is the tourist coming to the bank, and not what you are doing for the bank. So this will help you, especially when you need to know whether will the bank charge me using BSR or will the bank charge me using BBR. The Forex bank, it is the tourist service provider, right? The Forex bank, it is what? The tourist service provider, meaning they are the ones who are going to be providing this service to the tourist. Which service? The exchange of the currency. Remember, not everyone is permitted to do what? Foreign exchange. You know, we did this in grade 11. You can go to your black market if they are there, the major banks, right? Not all banks again have access to be doing what? Foreign exchange. So in terms of calculations, check, it is about what the bank is doing for you and not what you are doing for the bank. Very important before we move to whether are we dividing or are we multiplying. Right, you need to make sure that you know these instructions. So we're going to be doing maths. As I said, this will be the examiner's instructions. And where will you get these instructions? Obviously, on your next to your cover page, right? Immediately after the cover page or on your cover page, you will have the examiner's instructions. Learners always skip this, and they do not change. This will be obvious instruction 4, 5, and 6. Look at what they are doing. Remember I said, where will you be doing foreign exchange calculations on your question 3? They are saying in question 3, round off your answers to 2 decimal places. So this is what learners skip. And when you do not do this, you will not get what? Marks. Number 2, show all steps for your calculations. We want to know how did you get to that answer. Don't just write your answer. You do your calculations here on the calculator, and then you forget. So if you want to get marks, right, I will show you the skill there. You need to make sure that you show us all the steps for your calculations, and obviously a non-programmable what calculator needs to be used. Round off your answers to 2 decimals. Show all the steps for your calculations if you want to get full marks. Right. Let's check then. We are saying in terms of calculations, it is a matter of division and multiplication. But remember, in this context, we are using which exchange rates? Bank buying rate and bank selling rate as per that table. When you do calculations or conversions, we either multiply or divide by the exchange rate. Which exchange rate? This will be our exchange rate, depending on the scenario that you are going to be given. You'll either be using bank buying rate or you'll be using what? Bank selling rate. Let's move. So what are we saying there? We are saying when you do calculations, we either multiply or divide, but using which exchange rate? BBR. And then I said, ask yourself, does the bank buy or sells? This is a tip that you must have. Is the bank buying or is the bank selling? Before you stress about division and multiplication, division. Let's check. When do we multiply? You need to write this down. When do we multiply? So we are saying the golden rule is that from foreign currency to South African rand, right? You have foreign currency, you have your dollars, you've got your pounds, and then you are visiting South Africa, right? Meaning you want what? Our local currency. From foreign currency to South African rand, we multiply by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BBR. So be careful there. So when do we multiply? We are saying a tourist has a foreign currency and wants a local currency. The bank will charge him or her using what? BBR. Why? Because the bank buys what? Foreign currency. Right? So all those tourists coming from outside and coming to South Africa, what is it that they need? They need our local currency. So when they get to the foreign exchange bank or a forex bank, they will be charged using what? Bank buying rate, because they have their dollars, because they've got their pounds, because they've got their pula, and so on. So when they come here, they will be charged using what? Bank buying rate. And the bank will be doing what? They will be multiplying. Right? Let's check for practice. A tourist, right, has 690 US dollars and wants to buy souvenirs when they visit South Africa. Calculate how much he will receive if the exchange rate was 17.49. So what do we do there? Number one, so okay, let's check. So we have a tourist. How much does this person have? 690. Which currency? US dollars. So we are actually converting what? $690 to South African rand. So we are converting what? Foreign currency, which is what? US dollars to South African rand. So, and then I said what? Let's go back. From foreign currency to South African rand, what do? We multiply. So what are you going to do? Here it is. There's the 690. You will take this 690 and this, oh, this person has what? Foreign currency. So what do? I multiply by 17,49. So you will say 690 times 17,49. Then what do you have? $690 times 17,4. Not 49, 94. Check what your calculator is giving there. Times 17, which is 17 rand 94 cents. Meaning to buy $1, you pay how much? 17 rand 94 cents. Then your answer it is 12378,6. Right? Remember the instruction was? Let's go back. I said that round off your answers to 2 decimals. So you cannot leave this like this. Right? You need to make sure that your answer must have what? 0, because these are the 2 decimals. When you are talking about this, it is the 2 numbers after the comma. Remember, we are talking about what? Money there. Make sure again that you also put the currency symbol, because sometimes that will have what? A mark to show that you are converting from US dollars to South African rand. Then how will you get 4 marks if this was 4 marks? The first mark will go here, whether you know that from foreign currency to South African rand, you are multiplying. Then the second mark will be here, whereby we are showing you whether did the learner use the correct exchange rate, right? 17,94. Then sometimes those will have a mark for the correct currency, or then here will be your 2 marks. Especially if you did not leave it like this, then it is like this, because this is what? Money, right? So you need to make sure that your answer has been rounded off to 2 decimals. So how much will this person then have or spend on souvenirs, right? When they go back, they will spend what? 12,378 rand 60 cents. Right. So we said, when do we multiply? Just add this down. When do we multiply? From foreign currency to South African rand, we multiply by the exchange rate, right? And which exchange rate are we using? Bank buying rate. Why? Because a tourist has a foreign currency and wants what? A local currency. What happens in this context? The bank buys what? Foreign currency from the tourist in exchange of the local currency. And then how do we do that? We multiply by the exchange rate. Right. Then we move to, when do we divide? When do we divide? When we have local currency and one's foreign currency, we divide by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BSR. When do we divide? When we have local currency, meaning when we have what? Rands. Now you have South African rands and you want Greater British pounds, for example. Then what are we going to do? We are going to be dividing. Are you getting it? In this context, the bank is selling foreign currency to us. A tourist brings local currency to the bank and wants what? Foreign currency. As I said, this is very important. It is about what the bank is doing for you, not what you are doing for the bank. We divide when we have local currency and wants what? Foreign currency. We use which exchange rate? BSR. In this context, the bank is selling foreign currency to us. A tourist brings local currency to the bank and wants what? Foreign currency. What do? We divide by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BSR. I hope you are getting it. Let's practice. We are saying here now a tourist has 16,350 rands and wishes to buy United States dollars. And then on that particular day, the exchange rate was 19 rand. Calculate how much he will get for his, meaning how many dollars or US dollars will this person get. So what do? Remember we said we are dividing by the exchange rate. So we will say, let's calculate to double check, 16,350 divide by 19,10, meaning for that particular day you were buying a dollar by how much? 19 rand 10 cent. Then what will be your answer? This one is straight to the point. From the calculator, the answer is 856,02, and then here there's 0 and other numbers, right? So you need to make sure, remember the instruction is round off to 2 decimals. So here are your 2 numbers, and then if here, you see I had 0 there, it was 856,02, and then here there's 0. Sometimes the number here, the third number, will be 9. Then you need to round off, right? Then here it will be 3. 856,03 cents, because of if here the number is above 5, then you do that. But when you check your calculator here, it is 02,0. Then the correct one will be 856,02. Then that's where you will get your mark. But you need to know, again, we have shown us what the correct currency symbol there it is. So the first mark will be here. Oh, does the learner know that they are dividing? Did the learner use the correct exchange rate? Is the currency symbol there? Then you just get 2 there. So rounding off to 2 decimals is very what? It's very important, right? So break, or so that the person will be marking your paper can be smiling. You need to show us that do you understand that you are converting from South African rand to foreign currency. To sum up, the golden rule is if we have foreign currency, what do? You multiply by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BBR. If we have rands and then you want foreign currency, what do? You divide by the exchange rate. Which exchange rate? BSR. And remember to round off your answers to 2 decimals. Before we move to other activities, let's just try to jot down this note or take a screenshot. But now I will give you 2 minutes as well. When do you multiply? Please add this note down. I'll be back just now. Remember, I said you are available on our WhatsApp line 079 454 9535. 079 454-9535. This is where you can interact with us. Send us your questions so that we can be able to get back to you. Just add these 2 slides before we move. We will be back just now. So we are saying from foreign currency to South African rand, we multiply by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate are we using? Bank buying rate. Why are we doing that? Because a tourist has a foreign currency and wants a local currency. Then the bank will charge him or her using BPR. The bank buys foreign currency. Right? This was just my example. When do we divide? When we have local currency and wants foreign currency, then we divide by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BSR. Why? Because the bank is selling foreign currency to us. Meaning a tourist brings local currency to the bank and wants what? Foreign currency. Then we do what? We divide by the exchange rate. And which exchange rate? BSR. So you need to know that you know all those facts. Remember, we have less than a minute now that I gave to you to do what? To write down this note or to just take a screenshot. When do we divide? When we have local currency and wants what? Foreign currency. We divide by the exchange rate. Which exchange rate? BSR. Why? Because you are bringing local currency to the bank and the bank wants what? And you want what? Foreign currency. The bank will be selling to you what? The foreign currency. Right. This was still for practice as well. Is the golden rule. Again, it's very, very, very important. From Forex, you multiply by the exchange rate, meaning foreign currency. You multiply by the exchange rate. From South African rand, you divide by the exchange rate. And remember which exchange rate? BSR. And then I said to you, round off your answers to 2 decimals. Right. I hope you have added down that golden rule. Remember, we said when you have foreign currency and then you want South African rand, you multiply by the exchange rate, and the bank will charge you using what? BBR. When you have rands, the bank will charge you what? And then you want foreign currency, the bank will charge using what? BSR. Then they are dividing. Then you need to make sure that you have rounded off your answers to 2 decimals. Let's just now move to activities for today. So far, you should know what is bank selling rate. You should know what is bank buying rate. You should know what we mean by foreign currency. You should know what we mean by local currency. More especially because on your activities, these concepts will come time and again. Then you also need to know again from the previous slides, when do you multiply and also when do you divide. The mark allocation again is very important. Let's check the first activity. Again, there's that verb. Remember I said tip number 1, analyze or check what the examiner's instruction. It is study the foreign exchange rate table below and answer the questions that follow. There's our table. Let's analyze it. Foreign exchange rate. Remember I said what is foreign exchange? When you convert one currency from another. Then I said what is rates? It is what? The amount. Right? What are they comparing here? Rand per foreign currency. There, where our currencies, they are on this block. We have the first one, United States dollar. We have the Greater British Pound. Then this side, we've got the 3 currency codes for each currency. Then the middle block, we've got the bank selling rate. BSR it is 14.73 cents. Then GBP it is what? 19.28. Then the last block, we've got the bank buying rate, which is 14.12 cents. And then this side, it is what? 18.29 cents. Right? This is you have analyzed. Then you move to your question now. Then you write 3.1.1. Your numbering must also be correct. Let's check now what's going on here on this first activity. A South African, right? Remember, they will always give you cases. A South African tourist returns from the United Kingdom. Right? Now, it is very important again for you to know your countries. Because when you look at this table, unlike the one that I used on the activities, it had another block here that had the country, right? But now when you look at this one, the countries are not given. So you need to know your different countries. A South African tourist returns, you highlight, from UK with 2,500 pounds, right? So these symbols are also very important. So for US dollar, obviously, US dollar, we know the sign, right? The sign is more or less like this. For Greater British Pound, it is there to one that looks like an L or E. And then for Euro, it is that sort of C, and then it had this inside, right? Remember, these are the major currencies of this was grade 11's work. So it is very important again that you know the currency symbols. Go back to grade 11 work as well. So the symbols will assist you when you get such scenarios, right? Because now they have not written here 2,500 GBP or 2,500 pounds sterling. So when you do not know your symbol, then you are going to be confused here. Let's move. So a South African returns from UK with 2,500 pounds, right? Obviously, this person had visited what? The UK, meaning they did not spend all their money there. So now when they come here in South Africa, remember they need to go to the customs official. We did this in this year in term 1, right? Now this person has 2,500 pounds left with him, right? And now he's returning to South Africa. What happens here? Calculate how much South African rand he will receive. Then the mark allocation, 3 marks. Let's analyze this question. Now the learner will be confused. Will the bank charge this person using BSR? Or will the bank charge this person using BBR? That's what you must ask yourself. Am I dividing or am I multiplying? But when you read your scenario carefully, you will know. Let's check. Number 1, what happens if South African returns from the United Kingdom with pounds, right? So we've got a South African returns, right? So this person has what? This person has pounds. Meaning, when he has pounds, he has what? Foreign currency. So that's the tip. Therefore, he has forex. And what did we say we do when we have forex? We multiply. This is you analyzing. Let's go back. Let's go back. So a South African returns with 2,500 pounds. So this person has what? Foreign exchange. So we have identified this. He has foreign exchange. And what does he want now? Remember, he returns home to his local country. Now he wants what? Our local currency. So we multiply by the exchange rate. Now you should be confused. Which exchange rate will this person? Oh, you go here, we have identified now we want what? Pounds. Here's what? Pounds. So we will be using which one? GBP. Now he goes to the bank. Which exchange rate now will this person use? Calculate how much the South African will receive for the rents, right? Now this person wants what? The rents from the bank. And what is the bank doing? The bank will be buying the what? The foreign currency from the tourists. So the exchange rate to be used will be what? 18,29. Because now the bank is buying foreign currency from this tourist. Selling him what? The local currency. So it's how much? 2,500. So you will say here 2,500 times our exchange rate, which is what? 18,29. Because now the tourist is buying what? The local currency from the bank. 18, let me double check. 18,29. Then what will be our answer? Remember, we said here you need to South Africa returns from UK. This is you. Here's how many pounds? Here's 2,500 pounds, right? Foreign currency, and he wants what? Our rent. So from forex to rents, what do? That is, we multiply. Right. Let me check. You should have your calculator there. So 2,500 times 18,29. Then what do we have? You see, it is exactly like this. So it is 4,5,725. Remember, I said round off to 2 decimals. So if your calculator is giving you this, you need to know that there must be a comma and then 0, 0 if it is like this. But we need to remember, let's check our question. Calculate how much the South African will receive in rand. So your currency code must be there. There's our answer. 2,500, then there, times 18,29, then here, or sometimes plus 3 marks, remember. So this will not be important. Then there you have your marks. Let's check the memo. Whether did I do it right? So a South African tourist returns from the United Kingdom with 2,005. Calculate how much the South African will receive in rands. Let's check if you did it right. This was there, 1 mark. Then the second one, correct exchange rate, and then we have your answer, 45,000 rand, 725. So they just forgot to put the 0 there. 45,725 what? Rands. There are no cents. Just remember to round off to 2 decimals. So we were correct there, right? Then let's move to the second activity, right? I got my full 3 marks there. You have a friend who 3.1.2. You have a friend who is studying in the UK. Remember, we are saying English across the curriculum. It is very important that you read your statements, right, carefully, and highlight. You have a friend who is studying in the United States of America, right? Oh, okay. It is your friend's birthday, and you would like to transfer 1,800 into his account as a gift. Calculate how much your friend will receive in United States dollars. Oh, what are we doing here? So now here we have United States dollar, and then you also have what? And you've got your friend who is in the US. And you are sending this person what? Our rands. Calculate how much you. So what is it that you are doing there? Now we are converting. What are we converting? South African rand to US dollars. What was the rule? We're done with this one, right? So on that one, it is 3.1.2. We have what? South African rand. And how much is it? 1,800. And then we are converting to US dollars. Now you need to remember here again. Now we have a local currency, and then you are converting it to what? To a foreign currency. What do you do? So you've got local to forex. The tip is, what do you do there? You divide. But now you need to remember which exchange rate that you are using. Now we are going to be using what? BSR. We are going to be using what? Bank selling rate. So how are you going to do this? You will say 1,800 divide, how much was it? 1,473. Then what will you have? 1,800 divided by 14,73. I hope we are correct. 122, comma. You see, there on the calculator it says 19, and then there's a 9 here. So when it's like this, your answer will be comma 20, and then you need to make sure that you know now it is US dollars. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's check if we are correct. There it is. Right? I've got my 1,800 rands. Then there's the first mark, whether the child knows that they are dividing. Then the second mark, let me go back. Did I use the correct exchange rate? Yes, I did. Then you get what? The second mark. Then your answer, remember I said here when we say round off to 2 decimals, you check the 2 numbers after the comma. And then if the third one, it is above 5, then you round up. If it was below 5, then it was going to be 19. There it is. There you have your answer. Well, so even if, let us say now Elena had multiplied, right? If Elena had multiplied, then they were going to get it wrong here. If the learner had multiplied but had used the correct exchange rate, they would still get, obviously, their answer will be wrong. Then the child will get 1/3. Not still bad, but hence I'm saying do not ignore your calculations because this is maths, right? So you are still going to get, if you had multiplied instead of dividing, you are still going to get at least 1 instead of 3. So make sure that you do not skip your calculations. Let's try to practice again with another activity. It's not easy, hey, as you can see. Now look at this one. Study the information. Again, remember I said the first thing that you need to do is to do what? To read the examiner's instructions. Study the information and the forex table below. After doing that, what must you do? Answer the questions. Let's analyze our text. Mr. Biggs, who lives in South Africa, okay, the name is not important, but you need to know where is this person from? South Africa. Went to visit the USA. Oh, her son added 600 rands to her spending money, which she exchanged for US dollars at OR Tambo International Airport before she left. When Mr. Biggs returned to South Africa, Mrs. Biggs returned to South Africa, she had 219.99 US dollars left of all her spending. So this is you now analyzing and highlighting important information. When we left South Africa, she was given how much? 600 rands by her son for just to spend. Obviously, this money was exchanged before she left for the US. Then she spent whatever money they used, and then when she returned now in South Africa, she did not finish that money. Now she has what? 219.99 US dollars. The exchange rate, rand to dollar, there it is. Then here we've got the country USA, then here the 3-letter code, then bank buying rate and bank selling rate. Again, check the bank buying rate, it is smaller, or lower than the bank selling rate, right? The question now, the mark allocation rate is 4 and the second one it is 4. So hence I said your mark allocation is very important. Calculate the amount in US dollars that Mrs. Biggs received when she exchanged the 600 rands. Now check here, note, round off your answer to 2 decimal. Round off your answer to 2 decimal. The first one we are saying, calculate the amount, which amount here? It is 600. So we've got rands, okay, we've got rands, yes. So now we need to convert what? This 600 rands to dollars. Let's check. So what do we do? There we have what? Local currency to forex. So what do? We divide by by the exchange rate. So we will say 600. Let me go back to my exchange rate. But now, which exchange rate? We need to check now BBR, because now this person now has what? They need to buy what? The dollars. So the bank is buying what? The rands from him and giving him what? The US dollar. So you will say, okay, how much was it? 13,25. This one. Jesus. Right? Calculate the amount in US dollars that means received when she exchanged. So this person did what? Exchange $600. 600 rands to pounds. What is this person? This person wants what? Dollars from the bank. So which rate will the bank use? The bank selling rate, because the bank will be selling the US dollars to this person. It's 1357. We said BSR 1357. Then you do your calculations. 600 divided by 13,57. Then what do you have? You have 44,22 what? Then we have this. Then it will be 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Then you move. Let's confirm. There it is. Right? 1 mark whether you know that you are dividing, 1 mark for the correct exchange rate, and then there is your answer. That's how you get your 4. Or maybe the other one will be here, then the other one will be here. So basically, that's what we all need to learn. And this is not easy for everyone. You need to know when do you divide. You also need to know when do you multiply. The second question before we conclude. Calculate the amount in rands Mrs. Biggs received when she exchanged. Now we're on B. So on B now, she has what? Foreign currency. And then she wants what? The rands. Now what will the bank be using? The bank will be using what? Bank buying rate. So we have what? This is the second one. So what will happen there? I'll just move here. She has 219.99 US dollars. So now we are moving what? From dollars to South African rand. Then what must she do? She has to multiply. By which exchange rate? Now the exchange rate will be what? BBR. And then the amount, remember, must be in rands. Then it will be what? 2,914 rand and 87 cents. Let's check. 219.99 divided by, I multiply by 13,25. Right, so make sure that, remember I said round off to 2 decimals, and you need to make sure that you check the number after the first 2 after the comma. Then if it is up, then you will have it up like this. Right, I'm going to pause here for today, but I hope that you will get a chance to do what? To download this notes later, because there are still few activities, so that you can be able to check the memos and then you practice and practice and practice. Thank you for watching today. Let's remember to our marks, but above all, what have we dealt with today? We dealt with bank buying rate. We should know the difference between the two. We also dealt with how to analyze currency rate sheet. And we also did our calculations, and the activities, as you saw, they were a bit difficult and also challenging. Know when do you round off to 2 decimals, know when do you divide, and also when do you multiply, and check your mark allocation. So thank you for watching today. Let's not forget that we are still under COVID-19. Let's wear our masks, practice social distancing, sanitize, hashtag I do tourism, hashtag you can do this, hashtag Guinea Batembe Wena. See you next time. Thank you.